Data are plain facts in unprocessed form.
For data's plural for datum. When data are processed, organized, structured, or presented in a given context so as to make them useful, they are called information. It is no to have data. Data themselves are fairly useless. Between these data are interpreted and processed to determinate true meaning the become useful and can become information. Distinction between data and information weg no thatch the brain of a computer. It controls the functions of computer. It processes data and gives us results. It remembers all the things stored in it, and when we give command to it, it fetches the information from its memory. A human brain cannot remember so much things. Computers agree to store a large amounts of data. We can retrieve the data and when we need it. Let us study in details what does a computer store information.
Data versus information. Data are plain facts in unprocessed form. The word data is plural for datum. When data are processed, organized, structured, or presented in a given context, so as to make them useful, they are called information. It is not enough to have data. Data themselves are fairly useless. But when these data are interpreted and processed to determine its true meaning, they become useful and can be called information. Distinction between data and information. Data is a form of raw facts and figures. But information is the result of processed data. Data can be collected in the unsequential manner, though information is presented in a meaningful manner. Data is an input form. On the other hand, information is an output form. Data cannot be understood, but information is complete and understandable. We know that CPU is the brain of a computer. It controls the functions of computer. It processes data and gives results. It remembers all the things stored in it, and when we give command to it, it fetches the information from its memory. For example, if we input data, it is processed and stored in the storage. When it is required, it is fetched out of memory and output is delivered in the form of information. A human brain cannot remember so much things. Computer is a great way to store large amounts of data. We can retrieve the data as and when we need it. Let us study in details, where does a computer store information?
A computer can store the program in its memory. When a certain program starts and their computer first is loaded in their computer memory. Computer memory can load a number of programs in its memory. Thefist the memory of the computer thefist is the speed of opening of the programs. A computer can have two types of memory. 1. Primary memory. 2. Secondary memory. Primary memory is the main memory of the computer. It is also called internal memory. It holds their programs and instructions while their computer is working. When the computer is turned off, this memory is erased. Primary memory are software types RAM. It is random access memory. RAM is used by the computer to store data for processing. It stores data temporarily. As you write no instructions, the previous data is erased and new data is overwritten. ROM it is read-only memory. There is another memory in computer which is called read-only memory ROM. The storage of programs and it in the ROM is permanent. ROM can only buried by the but it cannot be changed. ROM does not erase contents when the power is switched off. Secondary memory. In addition to internal memory of the computer, external memory is required to store the huge amount of data. Since internal storage of a computer is therefore external memory is required to store information and that too for a longer period. Secondary memory is not lost even if the computer is turned off. Secondary memory is also known by the name external memory.
Computer memory. A computer can store the program in its memory. When a certain program starts on the computer, first of all, it is loaded in the computer memory. Computer memory can load a number of programs in its memory. The faster the memory of the computer, the faster is the speed of opening of the programs. A computer can have two types of memory. Primary memory. Secondary memory. Primary memory. Primary memory is the main memory of the computer. It is also called internal memory. It holds the programs and instructions while the computer is working. When the computer is turned off, this memory is erased. As we know that primary memory is of two types. RAM. It is random access memory. RAM is used by the computer to store data for processing. It stores data temporarily. As you write new instructions, the previous data is erased and new data is overwritten. ROM. It is read-only memory. There is another memory in computer which is called read-only memory, that is ROM. The storage of programs and data in the ROM is permanent. ROM can only be read by the CPU, but it cannot be changed. ROM does not erase its contents when the power is switched off. Secondary memory. In addition to internal memory of the computer, external memory is required to store the huge amount of data. Since internal storage of a computer is less, therefore, external memory is required to store information, and that too for a longer period. Secondary memory is not lost even if the computer is turned off. Secondary memory is also known by the name external memory.